How do you get into a top university or an Ivy League? Stanford, MIT, Caltech, UChicago. At AdmissionSight, we've been guiding students for over 15 years on how to navigate the college admissions process. And so let's break it all down for you today on how to get into a top university. So first things first, usually what we're looking at is the unweighted GPA of at least a 3.9 plus. The weighted GPA tells me your course rigor, but the unweighted GPA really tells me what grades you're getting on the transcript. And so usually when you get a 3.9 unweighted GPA, that means you're getting no more than maybe 2 or 3 B pluses at the most, and ideally not in core subjects. And if you do get those B pluses, they should come in the freshman year. But of course, this is a minimum of a 3.9 unweighted GPA. Ideally, you should just aim for a 4.0. The next part of this equation is your course rigor. And so what I mean by course rigor is I'm really looking for the number of APs that you've taken through the conclusion of junior year, especially the AP exam scores. So generally speaking, what I consider the top 1% in the country is taking 8 AP exams by the conclusion of their junior year, which in the past used to get you this award called the National AP Scholar Award for taking 8 APs. While that award has since been discontinued, college admissions officers know that taking 8 APs or more really means the top 1% in the country. The top 10 to 15% of students in the country will have taken 5 APs or more by the conclusion of the junior year, which would earn you the AP Scholar of Distinction Award. Beyond APs and your unweighted GPA, then it really comes down to your SAT scores. We really want to see a 1550 plus on the SATs or 35 plus on the ACTs, really when it comes to getting into top schools. And this is just strictly talking about academics. Now, beyond your GPA, your SATs, and your AP exams, the next part of the equation, when it strictly comes down to academics, are regional and national academic competitions, right? Is it the USA Computing Olympiad or the Regeneron Science Talent Search if you're interested in math and science, or the Intel Science and Engineering Fair? If you're a humanities student, is it the Scholastic Art and Writing Competition or the John Locke Essay Contest? There's a whole universe of regional and national academic competitions, whether it's Science Bowl or National History Day or Model United Nations or FBLA, right? And you really want to take advantage of this entire universe of academic competitions because let's face it, when there's so many kids with 4.0s and 1550 plus on the SATs, the academic competitions and getting regional and national academic awards is really what's going to separate yourself from all the other highly competitive applicants out there, especially if we're talking on behalf of the Ivy League, Stanford, MIT, and all the other top schools in the country. Now, the next part of this, beyond academics, are the extracurricular activities. And so what are we talking about here when we're talking about extracurricular activities? Well, we really want to see that a student is president or founder of a leadership organization, of a school club. Are you president of Amnesty International, or did you build a nonprofit organization in which you're president founder fighting for human rights in Darfur, right? What is your leadership organization that you founded or that you started at school that showcases that you're passionate toward a social mission or cause? Schools, they really want to see what social mission or cause you're really passionate about, right? Is it improving healthcare access or tackling climate change and environmental sustainability or education disparity in third world countries? What is that social mission or cause that really drives you? Beyond this leadership organization, in which ideally you do lots of passion projects for this, we actually guide our students on building their nonprofit and getting national media attention for their work. Some of our students have been featured in the press, like Forbes or Yahoo News, for their extracurricular involvement. The second part of this equation is conducting academic research. So you really want to do academic research. We have our own in-house research program that we help our students with that's really catered toward getting regional and national awards in science fairs. Ideally, he also uses academic research to get published in prestigious journals as well. And the purpose of academic research is really to show your desire to push the forefront of discovery, right? At the end of the day, these colleges, they're research-driven institutions. And so you really want to do academic research to push the forefront of academic knowledge and discovery to compete in science fairs and get published in research journals. The third part of this equation is joining school clubs and organizations, okay, within the umbrella of extracurricular activities. So you've got your leadership organization, you've got your academic research, and then you want to join school clubs and organizations and get involved at your school, whether it's a school newspaper or robotics or Model United Nations. You definitely want to get involved in school clubs and organizations and ideally get leadership positions there as well, whether it's vice president or secretary and treasurer or director, right? You want to get involved with your school community. The next part is volunteering work and community service. And this is also super important. You want to make sure it also aligns with your theme or hook, right? What theme are you going to craft together when it comes to college admissions? That's something we brainstorm with our students on. And ideally, your volunteering work should be aligned toward this theme, aligned with your social cause, right? So it might be maybe the Greenscaping Club on helping tackle air pollution by planting plants in our local community. Or it might be volunteering at an animal shelter and fighting for animal rights, right? What is the volunteering work that you're doing that furthers a social mission or cause? The fifth part of this are summer programs, right? So you want to apply to prestigious summer programs, whether it's the Research Science Institute or the Summer Science Program, SSP, or the Garcia Lab in Stony Brook. Getting these high-octane research programs, summer programs, which are research-driven, will also increase your odds of acceptance. For a humanities student, that might mean the Stanford Humanities Institute, or the Iowa Young Writers Workshop, or the Kenyon Review, or the Yale Young Global Scholars, where you get to pursue your interest in history and political science and literature. These summer programs have generally a 10 to 15% acceptance rate, and they're well respected by admissions officers and serve as a signaling effect to get into highly competitive schools. Beyond this, I do think doing something in the arts, whether it's music, performing arts, or visual arts, could also help. That's also a requirement for the UCs. And then doing a sport. Ideally, you want to be in a varsity sport. I can tell you schools like Harvard and Stanford, certainly they look for students who are really talented academically, but they also are well-rounded in the sense that, they are varsity athletes outside of the classroom, right? And they're also involved in performing arts or theater arts or art, visual arts. Maybe they're painters or sculptors, right? And so this could also help round out the profile. Work experience or internships could also help the senior year, but they're the least important and not always necessary. So far we've talked about academics. We've also talked about extracurricular activities. Admissions officers, they really want to see students who leverage their academic passions to tackle a social cause, right? So in other words, what is your area of academic passion? Is it physics or philosophy or political science? And how do you leverage that area of academic passion to tackle a social cause, whether it's environmental sustainability or education disparity or healthcare access, for instance? And so you really want to build a theme or strategy around this and support it through your academics and your extracurricular activities. This is extremely important. So beyond your academics, which we've mentioned, and then your extracurricular activities, the third part of this equation is going to come down to your personal statements and essays and supplemental essays, right? So you have the 650-word Common App essay, which gets sent out to every single school. And then you have the supplemental essays that are unique to each school. And so I've always argued that strong essays and a strong application could, in theory, get a weaker student in. On the flip side, weak essays and a weak personal statement could, in theory, keep a strong student out, a 4.0, 1550 plus SAT score student. And so ideally, you want all the stars to align, right? You want a student with amazing academics, amazing extracurriculars, and amazing essays and personal statements. The personal statements are really your chance to showcase your personal qualities. Do you like cooking Gordon Ramsay's favorite recipes? Or do you like watching Netflix and Game of Thrones? Or do you like rock climbing? Right? How do these personal qualities reflect your intellectual curiosity for your areas of academic passion that led to these extracurricular experiences or life experiences that ultimately shaped your worldview? Right? The bread and butter of every college application essay is what lessons did you learn or what values that you gained? And how did your perspective shift as a result of these experiences that now are guiding principles behind how you approach the world around you? And that's ultimately what the college admissions officers want to see within the context of your personal qualities, your extracurricular experiences, and your intellectual curiosity for your areas of academic passions, which should, in theory, also align with your major choices that you're applying to when it comes to college admissions. And then once we figure out these values and lessons learned, we then want to see how these inspire you to embark upon this grander social mission or cause. Okay, this is also extremely important. Beyond your academics, your extracurriculars, and your essays and personal statements, then it comes down to the letters of recommendation. And the letters of recommendation are extremely important. You need your school counselor recommendation, 2 teacher recommendation letters, ideally one from math and science and one from the humanities. And then some schools will also request for an optional supplemental recommendation letter, whether it's through the mentor of your nonprofit or your research or summer program mentor over the summer that could shed additional light on your candidacy. Usually there's one optional rec letter, but there could be more than that. Some schools might allow you to submit in the past even up to 2 or 3 optional rec letters to shed light on your candidacy. And so the more information you can provide to the college admissions officers, the better. We have very specific strategies on how to make your letters of recommendation stand out. And so that's something we would work with our students on. Really this whole pipeline, right? The academics, the extracurriculars, the personal statements, the letters of recommendation, and then lastly, the interview prep. Right? We prepare our students for the interview, which really counts for less than 1% of the process, but still an important factor when it comes to college admissions, especially in this day and age when it's so competitive to get into these elite universities. You really want to make every aspect count. And so here at AdmissionSight, we work closely with our students, developing their passion projects, building their leadership organization, conducting academic research and sending it to these science fairs and getting national awards, working on the personal statements and essays and helping our students' voice shine through. And so we really take a bird's eye view and a highly comprehensive approach to the college admissions process, which helps our students land these acceptance letters. We have one of the strongest track records of any college admissions consulting company out there. 75% of our students are admitted into at least one of the top 10 schools. So Ivy League, Stanford, MIT, Caltech, UChicago. And this type of track record is really unprecedented. While we don't offer guarantees, I have to say we do have one of the highest track records of any company out there, primarily because we have such a strategic approach to the college admissions process, a no BS approach that really outlines, like, if you want to get into a top college, this is exactly what you need to do. And so we not only consult with you on the strategy, but we also guide you through how to execute on these action items to land you that acceptance letter. And so if you like what we had to talk about, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be offering more free tips and advice and resources on the college admissions process. And if you would like us to help specifically with your case, definitely reach out to us on our contact form and we'll set up a free initial consultation to see how we could help you navigate this complex and highly competitive college admissions process.